We start here tonight. Large areas of Richards Bay are currently experiencing runaway fires. Firefighters are on the scene trying to bring the blaze under control. Let's speak now to uMhlathuze Mayor Xolani Ngwezi for more and the latest details. Good evening to you, Mayor. Thank you so much for joining us here on Newsnight. Reports suggest that this fire started earlier today. Just talk us through what exactly the current situation on the ground is and how bad the situation is.
Thank you very much, Abigail, and all the viewers of eNCA. We are completely devastated after that there was fire in one of our companies in Richards Bay, which has invested in our city. But our fire and rescue services are actually containing the situation on the ground. Our residential areas are safe. Fire has been contained in those areas. The only area that is risky is still the company itself and city where it happened. And I would like to thank all the structures on the ground, our ward councillors especially. In this area, it's the area of Ward 2 and Ward 3, closer to that company under Councillor Devet and also Councillor Botha. They were able to assist the city in activating all the structures on the ground. You know, your private companies were able to come on board and assist. The city was able to come on board and assist. King Cetshwayo District Municipality was able also to dispatch their services to the city. So the situation is under control, and I'm calling on all the communities to calm down. The city is doing all it is possible to actually deal with the situation and make sure that everybody's life is safe and also the properties are safe. However, we are vigilant in making sure that the company itself does not get affected more than what it has been affected. And also, we're calling all the residents in the area to be vigilant and also to report any kind of hazardous areas that we might not have seen.
Mayor, we are glad to hear you confirm that the situation is indeed under control this evening. I just want to find further details with regards to whether or not there was any injuries or anything of that nature besides obvious damage to the infrastructure at that specific building.
Well, for now, obviously for infrastructure, there were damages, but at this moment, we can't be able to estimate how big is the damage and at what cost. Our fire and rescue services are still dealing with the issue and investigations as to what happened, what was the cause of fire, and so on and so forth. So once we are briefed of all the nitty-gritties, we'll be able then to report to the public and to every stakeholder involved to say what really happened and what the extent of the damage. But also, there have not been injuries or damage to property in the residential areas that has been reported, except for the failed fires around the area, which were able to be contained by our teams. And I would want to thank our teams really for having been able to combat this fire before it caused more damages. Our councillors in that area, big up to them, and also the communities, Our communities are always staying in alert of anything that may cause threat to their lives. So I urge them to continue to act like that, report anything that may threaten their lives to the relevant authorities of the city.
Mayor, I just wanted to gain an understanding of the area that this wood chip factory is in. Is it in a residential area? Are there concerns of smoke inhalation of residents? Is that one of your points of concern?
Okay, well, let me say that when any of the fires occur in the city, Richards Bay is an industrial city, but also is a residential city. So away from where the fire occurred, between that company and the residential area is about 500 meters, because Arboretum, which is part of your Ward 2 and Ward 3 area, is a distance of about 500 meters or 600 meters away from each other. So that's why we had to panic, and that's why the resident had to panic, when these fires occurred. But at least our fire department and all the stakeholders, companies, private sector, were able to come on board. We're able within the space of an hour or two to assemble 60 teams or 60 vehicles to assist in the combating of the fire. And I would really want to encourage that, because as an industrial city, the city may not have all the resources available to actually assist. But also companies themselves or private industries, they must come to the assistance of the city, because we all serve the same communities, and we all serve, everyone with as per the constitution, we must save lives, both as private sector and also as
Indeed.
public sector.
Mayor, we were looking at the visuals shortly, and they look quite intense. You are stating, though, that the fire is under control. There was also news that additional fires have now started in the same vicinity. Can you give us any details to whether those fires are under control, and do we know what the cause of those additional fires have been?
Well, investigations are still going to be done as to what was the cause of fire. But I have, for instance, given information that the fire occurred in a company that deals with timber, which is NCT. So the investigation is going to be continuous, and once the investigations have been completed, we'll be able to issue the statement as the city. But fire for now is under control, except for the fire which is still kind of risky in the company itself where the fire occurred. So our teams are there on the ground trying to manage the situation. And I'm adamant that, our teams are going to really deal with this issue as we're able to deal with the fire that had to run outside the company and into the residential areas. So our residents must stay calm, be vigilant, and be able to report any suspicious, fires around the area.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayor, for your time and for just giving us an update on that current situation. We are happy to hear that those fires are indeed under control, as confirmed by the uMhlathuze Mayor, Xolani Ngwezi, just chatting to us about that fire in Richards Bay. It started at a timber or wood stockpile facility. There is concerns that the fire is ongoing, but as the Mayor has mentioned now, it is indeed under control, and fire and rescue operations are currently on the ground, continuing to ensure that that fire is contained. If there are any further details, we will keep you up to date here on Newsnight. The cause of that fire also not known at this present moment.